Hello guys, I'm back from another video. Today we're talking about what if Belle had a symbiote. So in the last video we talked about how after they basically narrowly evaded the attack from a gigantic ass monster, they were saved thanks to the Loki Familia, specifically Miss Eyes Wallenstein. I think that's her name or her full name, but either way, well, it's basically just like in actual canon where they got attacked by Mort, aka the guy that literally thinks that he's better than everybody, similar to Bet. But let's just say he no longer looks like him in canon. Now he literally looks like a vegetable, and I'm not even joking. His face is basically broken as hell. And as for the monster would appear just like in canon. As for Bell, he would give his body up towards, give his body and let Null take control, as Null would destroy the monster, as would use his brand new skill called Iron Maiden, as it would destroy the monsters, basically impaling him with several spikes, as blood would come out of there, as for a gigantic, large ass monster core, making them pretty much rich. So yeah, after that, they basically left as it's basically the end of that episode. And so, let's talk about what happens next. So, we move to Bell and the rest of his brand new questing team, or his dungeon team, in the dungeon basically killing some monsters. Bell is now level 7, which is pretty strong. In fact, many people are rarely ever level 7. Most of the time, the highest level is mostly 6. As for many of his other teammates, for Welp, he's now level 3. For Lily, she's now level 4. And surprisingly, for, Makoto, which he's now a part of the team, she is now level... Bell would say this. So, you're pretty strong now, Makoto, so tell me, what is your level again now? As she would say this. Well, after we decided to join your party, at least me, I became level 3, and it's pretty fast as well, for some reason. As for Bell, he would say this. I guess so. As Lily would say this. So, Bell, can you tell us what is your level again now? As Bell would say this. Well, I'm level 8 now. As all of them would be surprised as they would say this. Wait, you're level 8? As one of them would say this, being Makoto. That's surprising. I mean, you're pretty fast at leveling up. Not only that, you're now level 8, which is... Nobody has ever became level 8 before. As not Izuku, I meant Bell, for God's sake. Sorry about that. I'm guessing it's going to be raining soon. And I'm really sorry for the noise in the background. It's probably going to be a bagyo. Or a typhoon. I'm just hoping it's not those. Oh god. Anyway, so, Bell would say this. Yeah, I'm pretty fast at leveling up right now. As Null would say this. Well, it's all thanks to me, obviously. As Bell would say this. Yeah, I get it. Anyway, does anybody want to go to, to the tavern? Maybe have a drink. Everything is on me, okay? As everybody would say this. Hell yeah, says Welf. As for Lily, she would say this. Yeah, let's do it. As they would start getting out of the dungeon, as after they get their pay, they decide to go to the tavern and started drinking and eating. Wait for a second. A while of drinking and also maybe eating, a little kid would come by, and apparently he's a part of the Apollo Familia. As he would say this. So, you're calling yourself pretty, extraordinary, but unfortunately, you're quite weak compared to us, the Apollo Familia. As Bell would just say this. Really, then. How about this? Hauser would give him his papers, which contain all of the information that he has, except for his skills, and not only that, his level. As when they checked out his level, he's a level 8. As when they saw that, what's his name again? Leon would say this. What? Wait, you're level 8? As everybody would just be surprised, saying, wait, he's a level 8? As one of them would recognize him as Bell, the Black Knight. As one of them being, what's his face? One of them would say, wait, you're Bell, the Black Knight. Oh god, I think you should not have done that. As he would say this, who the hell is the Black Knight? As he would say this, I'm the Black Knight. And I would rather, as his members would start backing up him, as he would say this, hey, what are you doing? And we didn't mean to do that, right? As he would start looking at him, as he would say this, hey, come on, you don't think that he's actually that strong? As Bell would just look at him, as he would say this, really? You really think that I'm not that strong? I'm a level freaking 8. Compared to you, you're just a small fry. And you're daring to call yourself higher than me? Oh my god. I can't believe you're that much of a hypocrite. As his body would start changing, transforming into his armored form, as he would bring out all black, and pointed at his face. I will make your fate slow and painful. So you better behave yourself, child. As he would say this, why you? Wait for a second. As Hythentos, being the leader and also the captain of the Apollo Familia, would step in, as he would say this, why you? You're daring to try and fight us? Even though you have a title like the Black Knight or whatever it's called, it doesn't mean a candle to us, the Apollo Familia. As one of them would say this, hey, please do not insult him. As all of the patrons in the bar would say this, yeah, you probably don't want to fight him. Please, for God's sakes, that's a bad idea. As he would say this, really, this this so-called Black Knight dares to call himself that. What a joke. And besides, Miss Hestia is nothing more than a joke to the gods. As he would say this, why you? As you would grab him by the neck, as he would say this, you're daring to touch me? I'm supposed to be, as he would grab his and start slicing his face, as he gets, well, a scar on his face because of that. As he would say this, why you and as he would look at the rest of his familia, as he would say this, you're daring to fight me, and daring to insult my goddess. How dare you? As he would charge up a blast, as everybody would just say, hold on, please don't fight. As he would just look at him, seeing Hyacinthus, or whatever his name is called, I'm just gonna call him asshole. He would say this to him: ever or whenever you try to fight me, you're nothing more than a useless cunt. Daring to try and fight me and my familia, that would be a bad idea. Calling yourself stronger and faster and smarter is quite a interesting feat, to say the least, but unfortunately, you're outmatched thanks to me. So, I think it's better for you to try and not antagonize me. As he would say this, hey everybody, let's go. As his familia would start leaving. As for Hyacinthus, he would say this, that bastard! He ruined my face! As all of them would say this, yeah, but it's technically your fault, boss. As Leos would say this, don't you dare slander our leader. You dare call himself. You dare call yourselves. I can't even think straight. Thanks to that bastard. As Hyacinthus would say this, agreed. We should be telling Apollo about this. Wait for a second. So, after that little fight, they would get an invitation to a little party with the other gods. As Belle would say this, so who's the. As she would say this, oh, it's Apollo. As Belle would say this, Apollo, you say? Fine. Guess we should join. As Lily would say this, yeah, it would be fun. As Wolf would say this, agreed. I've been looking for a party for a while now, so. As when the day came for the party, everybody is basically there, including some other familia members from other familias. Like, for example, Taki Michizuchi and Loki, and even Freya, which, when she saw Belle, she was just like eyeing him the whole time. Belle is basically wearing a black suit, and this black suit is actually just Null in disguise. He's just, if you don't know, in the actual Venomverse or whatever, they can also transform into clothing or regular clothing depending on the situation for stealth. So he would wear this as everybody is basically there. As when they saw Belle, let's just say they were just like, oh god. Because of Belle's reputation being called the Black Knight, they would just be afraid. Instantly be afraid. Several of the Apollo Familia members, including one specifically, what's her name? So, while at the party, everybody's basically just having a good time, as two Apollo members are basically watching them. Two of them girls, being Daphne and Cassandra. They're basically watching them, as Belle would just think, huh, I wonder. As Noel would just talk to him in his mind saying, I feel like this is actually a ploy to me. As Belle would say this in his mind, what do you mean by that, Noel? As Noel would say this, a party? It seems more like a ploy to me. A ploy of something devious that's afoot. As Belle would think this, yeah, I think so. As when the man of the hour finally arrives, being Apollo himself, Apollo would look at everybody saying, hello, everyone. I hope you are merry, and also, for you, Mr. As he would look over at Belle, as he would say this, oh, hello there, Mr. Black Knight. Belle Kernell, right? The man that's fused with a god. Or at least a god from another world. May I ask you, why did you fight one of my children in the bar that one time? Tell me. As everybody would hear that, as they would think, oh no, I think this is definitely going to be bad. As Belle would say this, those guys started it first. They insulted my goddess, Hestia, and they would think that they're higher than me. I'm technically a level 8 now. As everybody would hear that, they would say, wait, what did you mean by that? As Loki would hear this, as she would say this, wait, is that true? Is that true? As she would say this, yeah, I checked out his stats and, yep, he is a level 8. As what's her name again? When Freya hears this, she would say this, a level 8? Never seen a level 8 before. And I can't believe it had to be that cutie. As he would say this, really? My own children decided to fight you. Very well. I wanted to ask you as well. Would you like to join the Apollo Familia? As when everybody heard that, they would say, what? As for Freya, not Freya, I meant Hestia, Hestia would say this, excuse me, no! As she would say this, being Apollo. Huh. I'm sorry, but, unfortunately, because your child over here decided to hurt my children, it is his duty to become a loyal servant to my familia instead. After all, seeing that power with that boy, and seeing him in... Actually, Never mind. I just want him to be a part of my familia. He's absolutely powerful. Not only that, he's fused with a god, making an extraordinary type of boy, so... As Hestia would say this. No! As he would say this. Fine then. How about this? How about you decide to play a little game? A war game, to be more precise. If I win, you disband your familia, and Belle will be mine. But for you, you can do whatever you want if you win. But it doesn't matter because you're not gonna win. As everybody is just in shock. As one of them specifically, let's just say there's like a god that they just made up. What's his name? What type of... Let's just say a god by the name of Shiva would just say this. Yep, this is definitely going to be a bad idea. I can definitely sense the danger that's coming near him. Belle is basically fuming with rage right now. As Null would come out. As Null would say this. Well, Belle, it seems that this guy wants you. But for what reason? Revenge? You definitely want to kick his ass, right? As Belle would say this. Yeah. So, as Hestia would say this. I'm sorry, but I decline. I would rather die than ever let Belle be with you. As he would say this. Fine. The party's over anyway. Everybody get out. As everybody would get out of the, Apollo Familia's mansion as they started leaving. The next day comes as everybody's just afraid what's gonna happen. As Hestia would explain that Apollo is never the type of person that would give up. As Belle would say this. I see. Then, anyway, I should be going to the dungeon again. I'm gonna be doing some more training. As when he does get out of the, church, he spots several people up in the, up in the roofs of the area. As they're pointing bows and arrows, several spears and weapons at Belle, as he would say this. Because you will not join the Apollo Familia, we will have to take you by force. So, wait for a second. So, Belle would say this. Like hell I will. As everybody would come out of the church as they would see the army of the Apollo Familia there. As some of them would start throwing, fireballs at the church as she would say this. No! Why those? Apollo! As one of them would say this. Time to get you now! As he would start charging in at the Izuku. Not the Izuku, I meant Belle, goddammit. This is going to be a recurring theme. Anyway, so, Belle would just see this as he would grab All Black out of nowhere and slice his chest open, but not killing him. He would start screaming in pain as every single Familia member would say this. Oh, God. As one of them would say this. I knew it, I'm fucked. Thanks to Apollo, we're fucked. As one of them would say this. How why you? As he would start charging in, as he would get stabbed. As for the rest of the other Familia members, they would just, get destroyed. Well, another person would arrive there, as she seems to be helping. This person looks like another, I don't know what to really call them. I'm just gonna call them, demi-humans. Though this one seems to be an archer and starts shooting everybody. As the Taki Michizuchi Familia is there, getting ready to save, Hestia. As for Wolf and, what's her name? Lily, they're basically making a distraction to try and, distract the Apollo Familia from basically killing Hestia. Wait for a second. So, when they were basically fighting the rest of the Apollo Familia, a person would come out, saying, It's been a long time, Lily. It's time for you to go back to our Familia. It's enough time of, taking over this place and causing chaos. As she would look over and see a person. This person is Xanius, as she would just go with him. Completely willingly, in fact. As when Whelp sees this, she would say this: I'm sorry, but unfortunately, I don't want to cause any trouble anymore. See ya. I'm going back to the Summer Familia for good this time. As she would leave with Xanius. So, wait for a second again. As when Belle, we're going back to Belle's perspective. I meant perspective, goddammit. So, while he's basically fighting the rest of the Apollo Familia, one of them would say this: we just want to talk, okay? Just bring your goddess or whatever. We don't want our numbers to basically get killed by you. Like, seriously, what the hell are you? As he would say this. Fine. As both her and the Taki Michizuchi Familia is basically with them, including Taki Michizuchi himself, basically backing her up. When they made it to the Apollo Familia mansion, they made it there without any hitches, but Apollo would come out of his mansion, boasting that he's glad that they're going to finally start this war game. As she would say this: so, why? You're just a monster. As he would say this: monster. What a joke. Says the person that has a monster with him. A monster of a human like you, Mr. Belkern. As Belle would look at him, with the rage of 1,000 suns, as Apollo would kind of feel afraid, as he would just think, no, I'm definitely gonna win. I hope you're ready for that match, and I hope you're ready because this war game is gonna be quite fun. And the rest of his familia would start to laugh. Belle would just look at one of them, being Lucius, the one that started it all, as he would think, I'm gonna murder that damn child! As he would start getting ready for that war game. Going to basically rest at a little tavern, specifically, well, wait for a second, the hostess of fertility, to basically act as like their makeshift familia base for now. As while they were training, they were contacted by Eyes in the Loki Familia. Loki, after seeing that whole situation, is quite interested in this fight, and also doesn't want to get killed by Belle, because Belle is terrifying. So, yeah. So, she would bring both, well, Tione and, Eyes, as Eyes would tell, well, Belle that she wants to train with him, to make him a bit stronger, as Belle would say this: sure. As Loki would say this: so, Shrimpy, you're gonna be fighting against the Apollo Familia? So, you better get ready because that guy is definitely gonna get punched in the face. As she would say this: I guess you're right, but still. So, wait for a second. So, we're gonna be moving to a different perspective. This perspective is with Lily. Lily is in a cage, and Xanius is talking about how she has this weird ability of hers, the ability to shapeshift, and he would tell her this: you're gonna be serving under me from now on as my slave. No longer that you'll be forever be free anymore. You're nothing more than a slave to me. After all, why not? And you've been causing you know, that familia some trouble enough. So, better get ready. As for the rest of her familia members, they would just sit down and think, well, we're definitely gonna get fucked if he ever comes back here. As one of them would say this: really? That guy? I mean, Xanius is pretty strong, but he's just basically just, pretty strong in, like, medical fields. But you know who's scary? The Black Knight himself. I mean, he is friends with miss over there. As she would say this, "Hey, heard that." As one of them would say this, "Shut up." Anyway, if he ever comes here and tries to, get her, we're definitely gonna give her away. Because there's no way I'm ever gonna be fighting him. Have you seen what he did to those monsters? As one of them would say this, "Yeah, absolutely fucking terrifying." And the guy that he literally tried to steal his goddess away? Oh god, I definitely don't want to become that guy. As one of them would say this, "Agreed." So, wait for a second. So, we're basically at a different perspective again. Specifically, with the members of the, the Hestia Familia, but not Belle, because Belle is currently training with eyes, and also with the Takemichizuchi Familia, basically talking about plans on trying to free, well, Lily. After that, she would be called by the other gods that it's finally time to find the rules, or make the rules for this war game. So, they would be in the land of the gods, as Apollo would be told to go into a raffle to try and find the game, or the war game that they're going to be playing, as everybody's in suspense, thinking, well, Apollo's going to be dead, as he would get siege, as everybody would just think, oh god, he's definitely going to die, as Apollo would start laughing, saying, "Unfortunately, Hestia, your luck has run out. And by the way, that game specifically is for familiars that have strong numbers. And unfortunately, your familia is so small that even a peanut is comparatively more, larger than that." As Hestia would say this, "This is rigged! This is rigged!" As Apollo would just say this, "Fine. How about this? You'll try and find some members from other familias from, I don't know. Definitely not from Arario, to say the least. How about that? That would be fair enough." As they would both, shake their hands, as both of them would start leaving. So wait for a second. So, it's basically late at night, in the Soma Familia headquarters, as they're basically waiting on their next orders, as the Apollo and Takemichizuchi Familia basically strike. They started charging in, taking down the rest of the other Familias, or in this case the Soma Familia, as they're trying to find a way to get, Lily back. Bell would be charging in, wielding his blade, as he would start cutting down everybody brutally, as some of them would just say, "Oh god, it's him," as they would start running away, as Bell would just look at them, as he would say this, "No mercy for bastards like you." As he would start laughing like a madman, as he would start shooting out blasts of pure blackened fire and red electricity, as Bell would just stop and says this, "I should stop laughing like a madman, as, well, wait for a second." As Noel would say this, "I mean, I do agree, but I did remember doing that back when it was like, not in this form." As Bell would say this, "Either way, we should try and find, Lily." So, back to Lily. Lily is basically trying to escape the Soma Familia, as she made it to the office of Soma himself. Soma is currently making some wine, as she would say this, "Soma," as he doesn't talk to her, as she would say this, "Soma, please, just let me get out of this stupid," as he would say this, "You no longer want to become a part of this family anymore, right? Then drink this." As she was given the wine, the Soma Familia's most signature wine, as when she does drink it, he would start explaining what it actually does. Basically, any drop of this would basically make you addicted to it, to the point that you basically become self-absorbed in this wine, forever entangled in its pleasure, to say the least. So, yeah, she does resist it, as Soma would be impressed. Wait for a second. So, when Soma saw this, Soma would be impressed, as she would say this: I want to leave this familia. I just want to be with my friends, including Master Bell. Please! As he would say this: Fine. As he would go outside in the balcony, as everybody looks on seeing Soma himself. As he would say this: Stop the fighting! As everybody in Familia would just say this: Oh, thank God! We're safe! As Bell would say this: What? As he would say this: We no longer stop fighting. And as for the Hesta Familia, good luck. And for you, Miss Lily, I hope to see you again. And for Lily, she is no longer part of the Soma Familia. Now, leave. So, as everybody reunites with Lily, we started leaving. Let's go to different perspectives because this is also going to be important. So, Welp would say that he doesn't want to, well, no longer want to be a part of the Hephaestus Familia. So, Hephaestus would gladly let him join with the, or officially join the Hestia Familia. As for Mikoto, she would also join the Hestia Familia. For, well, Takemichi Zuchi would be surprised hearing that, but respect her wishes as he would gladly let her join that familia. And as for Hermes, well, Hermes would start begging for, well, Ryuku, or whatever her name is. Ryu, or, whatever, just let me check. Hermes would, convince Ryu, to join the Hestia Familia for the war game, as she would gladly join, because it kind of reminds her of her past life, as a part of her original familia. When they do get to the, or at least like the makeshift base for the Hestia Familia, when they do get there, everybody is basically getting ready. As Bell would say this: Alright, because our strong numbers, or at least our lack of numbers, seem to be quite a, factor in our, you know, fighting capabilities, I decided to make these. As Bell would summon out Null, as Null would say this: Yeah, Bell. Say hello to my old creations. These creations were meant to be my minions of destruction back in my old world. But because I decided to become nicer in this world now, I wanted to make these strong creatures which I call symbiotes. The Clintar. The creatures that were meant to be my soldiers of destruction, now working for you. So, you just meet the bond with them, and when you do, you will gladly gain powers even greater than your own. In fact, you might even get stronger. Your abilities might become even more legendary, to say the least, with these symbiotes with your bodies. Or combined with you, to say the least. So, yeah, everybody was given their own symbiote. Everybody was just like confused seeing this jar of colored slime. As when they opened the jar, the symbiotes started crawling all around them. As they started saying, Wait, what is happening to us? As Null would say this: Don't worry. They're going to help you in this war game. As when they do get consumed by each of their random symbiotes, well, they gain immense power, as they do. As they would say this. So, this is the power that you have, Belle? As Belle would say this. Yes. These are the same creatures that Null is. He created those things, and they will help us in this war game. So, I hope you're happy with this, because the war game is going to be bloody, just like how our bodies are going to be stained after this battle, right? As Lily would say this, yeah, wearing her brand new, well, symbiote-like suit. So, yeah, everybody is now, or at least like the members that are basically in the, um, wait for a second, in the war game, are basically now wielding symbiotes of their own. Like, for example, Welp and Lily, and for Ryu, and also Mikoto? Yeah. So, this is going to be an interesting next episode, because this is going to be the end of the episode. I'm sorry that I couldn't make, um, the next part being, well, the actual, you know, war game, but I'm going to be doing it in the next episode. So, I hope you liked the video, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye.